Welcome to the Transformational Soul Show with your host, Ruth Soltman. Are you ready to experience more stability in your life? You can change your life and be who you are meant to be, your authentic self.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Transformational Soul. My name is Ruth Soltman, and I want to welcome you if you are watching us live right now or listening to me live or us. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter right now. So thank you so much for being here and joining me tonight. I also invite you to hit the like button, the thumbs up button, share, retweet. I greatly appreciate that. And if you are out there watching, I hope you will say hello, because I would love to chat with you. Hello, Robert. Robert is here, and Richard, welcome. I invite you to check out my website, ruthsoltman.com. It's RUTH, S as in Sam, OL, T as in Tom, M as in Mary, A, N as in Nancy.com. And you can go to my website and find out all about my services, my books, and my oracle cards. So there's a lot of information on there. And if you haven't already, I hope you will come and join the Goldylocks Productions group on Telegram. It is such an amazing group, so much fun, so much amazing information is shared, energy. So I hope you will join us over there. We are communicating, on a daily basis, so it's a lot of fun. And Goldylocks Productions also has an online merchandise store where you can pick up lots of different things, from shirts to bags to ornaments to coffee mugs, and you have lots of awesome designs to choose from. So if you're looking for a gift, maybe for someone for a birthday or something, check that out. And don't forget to check out the Goldylocks Oracle cards as well. They're called Energize. And Tiffany does have a link that goes directly to those cards. You can order them and they'll be shipped right to your house. Then you can get messages from all of the show hosts every single day, because the show hosts all got together and, came up with the quotes or the sayings or, whatever, however you want to put it, that are on the cards. And then Tiffany got these beautiful designs and put it all together, and they're amazing. So you could, you get a deck of those and you pull yourself a card or two every day. You can get a message from, who knows which show host it's going to be. Be a surprise. Whatever you're meant to hear at that time on that day, that's what you will hear. And I want to thank all of you that show your support by liking and sharing my show posts and information. I am very, very grateful. I want to wish a very happy birthday to Christopher Vane. You may remember him. He used to be a show host on Goldylocks. He runs that Little Bear, I'm not sure now, I'm probably not going to pronounce it right, Little Bear Sanctuary maybe, in Florida. And his birthday is this week. And my grandson, Brandon Gibson, he's going to be 8 this weekend. And a happy birthday to everybody else that is celebrating a birthday this week. Let's send out some love, light, and healing to everyone who is in need. And let's remember especially Robin McGuire and her son, Carrie's daughter, Carrie, and Veronica and Holly. They could all use some extra love, light, and healing this week. If you would like to give a tip or donation, you can do that via my Venmo, a Rumble rant on Rumble, or a super chat or a super sticker on YouTube. Your tips and donations are very much appreciated, and it helps to keep the show going and cover the cost every month. So I really appreciate that. So if you tuned in last Saturday for the Spiritual Message Circle, it got switched to this Saturday. It was rescheduled from last week because we didn't have enough show hosts that were available. So I hope you'll join us this Saturday, February 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you're not familiar with it, the way it works is for a donation of $20, and you can prepay before the show. You will get a message from each of the show hosts that are available that night. So if you want to get in on that ahead of time, you can go ahead and prepay, and that will get your name on the list. That show is a lot of fun, and I really hope you can come and join in on the fun. And there's so much chaos and confusion going on in the world. We all know this. And although it's always been like that, it does seem to be more intensified now. A lot of that has to do with the way we receive information via social media. We didn't have that. When I was a kid, you read the newspaper or you watched the news. That's how you got your information, or word of mouth. But now, everything is so instantaneous. We get a lot of information, very, very quickly. So it might seem like things are much more intense and much more magnified than what they really are. And seems like there are opposite stories to every story that the media reports on. You can read a report or an article on one situation, and you can find the exact opposite somewhere else. So you have to use your discernment to figure out the truth for yourself. Everything here on this earth has been designed by humans to separate us. We are divided by gender, sexual orientation, race, religion, politics, and the list goes on and on and on. And groups are pitted against each other constantly on every issue that you could come up with, to divide us. It's meant to divide us. We are told that one side is the right side and the other side is wrong. And it's designed to keep us at odds with each other. When you don't realize this is happening, a lot of times we feed into it ourselves. Have you noticed, and I've noticed this a lot in probably the last 6 months to a year, that on social media, people will argue and even harass other people that have a different point of view or opinion. They're deleting each other, unfriending each other, all because they have a different opinion on a subject. It's absolutely ridiculous. We need to be thinking for ourselves. We don't need to just follow along with what everybody else says. All of humanity is connected on a spiritual level. We all come from the same source, right? God, source, creator. We are all a part of the same God source energy, every single one of us. If we were to remove our physical body, like we take off our clothes, we would all be that same source light energy. All of humanity stays connected through that, whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we recognize it or not, whether we care or not. That is just who we truly are. And, like I was saying, our society has been set up to divide us on everything and to try and keep us small, to keep us from remembering our truth and how powerful we really are. Each and every single one of us are way, way more powerful than we can even imagine. And together, that power is magnified exponentially. I can remember talking about the connection. I can remember when I was a child. This is when I remember the first time I felt that interconnectedness with everyone else. It was on Christmas Eve. All the stores are closed, restaurants are closed, except, for a few. And back then when I was a kid, like even the gas stations would be closed in observance of the holiday. But on Christmas Eve, I can remember sitting there really late at night, when a lot of people are asleep. Everything is really, really quiet because there's no stores open or businesses running. So there's barely even a car going by. And I remember thinking to myself, right now at this very moment, because I didn't understand the whole time zone thing when I was little, but right now at this very minute, everyone and this whole entire world is feeling what I am feeling right now, getting ready for Christmas morning. And I can just remember feeling that and feeling the love and the connection and thinking, that little kids clear across the world were doing the same thing I was doing right then and there. And it was a really cool feeling. Now, that changed as I got older and I realized what I was feeling. And, we're not all feeling it at exactly the same time because we have different time zones and blah, blah, blah. But as a child, it was like very magical to me. So a lot of us feel this stuff, whether we can put a name to it or not. And if you're not feeling it, how can we tap into humanity on this level? Meditation is fantastic. Hello, Joyce. Nice to see you. When we meditate, we connect with our higher self and the collective consciousness, right? So feel that. Tap into that energy. We can also visualize the interconnectedness. When we tap into that place, we have a knowing that we are all one. It's a knowing, a feeling. We can feel the connection. And what you do affects the collective, whether you realize it or not. And like when you heal your old issues, when you spread kindness, when you show love, and you have loving thoughts or you do loving actions, all of that contributes to the healing of humanity. It raises our individual vibrations and it also raises the collective vibration. So you can see why it's so important to keep your thoughts positive, kind, and loving. Because when you have the opposite kind of thoughts, that affects the collective as well. Now look at empaths. Okay, I feel like that is something that everyone can tap into on some level. Some people it's very on the surface, and other people it's very intense. Now there's a lot of people who can walk into a room and know exactly, you can feel the energy and you can feel exactly what's going on in that room. If people are arguing, if people are, being kind, if people are in secret, doing something, you get that feeling. There's also people who can feel other people's emotions, physical ailments. Now, I've had a couple of times where that has happened to me, where I would be talking to someone and they would say, well, I've had a headache for 2 days, and I would feel their headache. I've had that happen in Reiki sessions as well. It doesn't last, but it does, I do feel it for a little bit. And that's something that's somewhat new because that didn't used to happen. Have a great night at work, Richard. Thank you so much for stopping by. I've got your name down, so if you would like a message, come on back later and I will give you one. So, now a lot of times we feel feelings and emotions, and it's hard for us to figure out if they're ours or if they belong to somebody else. Now, people that don't really understand all of this may react in a completely different way because they feel all of this energy and emotion that they don't recognize, or they don't know why they're feeling it. They don't have any idea where it's coming from. Maybe they break into tears because it's so overwhelming, or they might lash out at others because they don't understand what it is, or they might completely close themselves off because they don't want to feel it anymore. And that's really sad, because when you close yourself off, you also close yourself off from all of the good stuff. And you don't want to do that. because there's so much good waiting out there for each and every one of us. It's really interesting too with children of all ages. They're like that a lot, right? When they're real little and you're starting to have different emotions, but you're not even talking yet, so it's really hard for you to express anything, they usually break into laughter, hysterical laughter, or they can break into tears. They have no idea why. And I've seen a lot of times, like with my grandkids when they're really little, they can be playing and happy, and all of a sudden they just burst into tears. And then before that's done, they're hysterically laughing. They just have all this emotion and they don't know how to sort it out, how to deal with it, or what they're supposed to do with it. And a lot of times it isn't theirs. Hello, Melissa. Nice to see you. Children like that, a lot of times they get labeled. They get labeled as dramatic or overly sensitive. But in fact, they're just picking up energy from everybody else that they come in contact with. They just don't understand what it is or how to sort it out from what they are feeling. I can remember when my granddaughter Harley started kindergarten. She would go to school every day and she'd come home and she would have all of these different emotions. And it was really like you could tell that it wasn't like her. Because we know her, but and after a while, I realized that what it is she's picking up something from kids in school. So not that it's not necessarily anything bad, but it's just emotions and stuff that wasn't hers that she was carrying around with her. And what we need to do is teach our kids and ourselves, because a lot of us still don't do this, to protect their energy. Teach them how to use their bubble, their spiritual protection shield, because it really, really works. And, like I said, it's the same for us adults as well. Use your protection bubble because it will help you to understand your feelings and emotions better, since the feelings and emotions of others will not be mixed in with yours. And can you imagine all these little kids and older kids, teenagers, going to school with all of the stuff that goes on in school, right? All these kids are bringing stuff from home, teenagers with all their hormones and emotions that are, that are just natural, but picking up on everybody else's, I can imagine it's really, really tough. You can walk into work or a family gathering, and if there's somebody there that's in a really bad mood, that it rubs off. You can see it rub off on other people, and slowly other people get really cranky or crabby or whatever. And that's the energy. So you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself from all of that energy. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you. It's very important. And I wish I would have known that when I was a little kid. That would have been pretty awesome. I can remember one time when I was a kid sitting in the car with my dad and my brother, and my brother was talking about one of his friends that something very tragic happened in his life. His friend was like, I want to say maybe like 15 or 16. Something very tragic happened. And all of a sudden, I just burst into tears. I had no idea why, but it was like I could feel those emotions that he was going through. I've had little glimpses, I guess, of things like that throughout my life when I was young, not really realizing what they were. This one time I walked into Target, probably about 10 years ago, and this was when I was going through a lot of my healing and everything. So I was probably pretty wide open, right? Spiritually, emotionally. And as I was walking through the store, there's this woman in the clothing department. And as I went by her, I could feel every single thing that she was going through and every emotion. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I burst into tears and I had to leave the store. That's only happened to me the one time, but it was very, very powerful. Now, if I would have had my bubble, I'm sure I would have been able to sense something, but maybe not that much. One thing that's always fun to do It's when you're in this, like in the grocery store or somewhere, and you pass by. I used to do this all the time. You pass by somebody who has a little kid, a little one, that's crying and just miserable in the front of the basket, the cart, and they'll just be miserable. And I'll just like stare at them and just send them lots of love, lots of love, lots of love. And just, saying to myself, smile. Oh, you're beautiful. And that kid would just stop mid cry, mid tear, and look up at me and smile. And it happened every single time. And it was so cool. And then if I'd stop doing it, like this, I remember this one specifically, I'd stop doing it and the child would start crying again. So I kept doing that for a while. But it's really fun, and it's a way you can practice those, sending information like that, or focusing that energy. Um, or you can do it in a lot of different ways, but it's really good to it was really nice because it helped the child stop crying, and I feel like that child connected with me on a totally different level. Well, obviously, because the child wasn't verbal, so it was too little. So I thought that was really cool. Before the show, right before the show, I pulled a card, and I have to laugh because of what I've been talking about tonight, but this is the card I pulled. It says, "You are whirling sparkles of love and light energy dressed in human form." How amazing. I love when things like that happen because you get validation, right? This is the message like that I have been hearing for like the last week about the oneness of humanity. And we need to get back to that because a lot of people would benefit from feeling that connection more. I feel like it's really important, especially now when it seems like people are trying to divide people even more than before. I mean, on every single subject, everything. It's just insane to me. Just absolutely crazy. It's like all people want to do on social media anymore. And it may be like this in person. I don't know. It's not my experience, but all they want to do is argue. All they want to do is argue. And, it doesn't matter what they say. If they say anything offensive, that's okay because, they're right and that's their point. And it's just really sad. It's really ridiculous. And it puts out such a negative energy. We need to be spreading love. We need to be spreading light. And we need to be spreading that, sending that healing energy. That's what humanity needs more of. Not all of this, harassment and anger online with people that 99.9% of the time we don't even know. Isn't that the kicker? Isn't that the kicker? But I've just seen such an increase in that on my social medias. Not on anything I've posted, but I might see a post from someone else and then I read some of the comments and it's just like, oh, I got to get out of here. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So tap into that interconnectedness. Feel it all the time. Know that that's where you belong because you are that source energy, that source love and light. And, people say that we were created in the image of God. That's what I was taught growing up. And I really don't feel that's accurate. We were created from God's source as a part of God's source. We humans have created God in our image, not the other way around. Look how many different religions have a different God. God is not human, although we are God expressing itself in physical human form, if that makes sense to you. God is energy, light, pure, unconditional love. And that is what we are. Energy, light, and pure, unconditional love. And it's an amazing experience and an amazing journey that we are here in human form on this earth. I mean, you have to say, I mean, what we experience here is, probably beyond compare to some other dimensions, or not saying it's better or worse, but we have a lot of very unique experiences. And I feel like we're here to experience as much as we can and to do as much as we can. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to get our butts in gear and get busy, because all we have is now. Now. We don't know we're gonna be here tomorrow. One day we're not. I was thinking the other day about this whole concept of what we call time. We created clocks to keep track of it, but all we have is right now, because 5 minutes from now it's going to be now, right? And how different would you go about your day if you didn't have a clock? So I sat there thinking about this for a while, because a lot of times during the day I don't look at the clock very often. I do have certain things that are time sensitive, so I have to be mindful of that. But it's really nice. Like, it's like a lot of times on the weekend, maybe you don't worry about what time it is. You just go about your business, do what you want to do. When you get hungry, you eat. Instead of looking at the clock and going, oh, it's 10 o'clock, I better eat. I haven't eaten anything today, even though you're not hungry. All of a sudden it clicks that it's breakfast time. But think about how you would go about what you do without worrying about what time it is. You'd go to sleep when you get tired, right? You wouldn't worry that maybe it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon and, you're going to take a little nap. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter at all. What got me thinking about this was, it's just a couple of weeks until we change our clocks for the daylight savings time thing. It's not very long from now. And that's what made me start thinking about it. Because people always say, spring ahead, oh, we lose an hour. Yeah, we don't lose an hour. But that's what started making me think about the whole time thing. And, like when you go on vacation, you totally lose track of time, right? Because you're out having fun and you're just living in the moment, doing things. That's the best place to be, is in the moment. If anybody out there would like a message, please let me know, because I am going to be giving you one. I know of a few people that I know who you can totally see that they pick up on the energy and emotions of other people, and it scares the crap out of them. So they react like the opposite that you would think they would. But don't ever be hard on yourself for what you feel. Those feelings are there for a reason. You feel what you feel for a reason. Now, it might be to bring up something that you need to work on. It might be something that, that needs to be healed. It might be something that's an indication of someone close to you. My one grandmother, my dad's mom, Betty, she used to dream about her dad, my dad's grandfather, every time there was something wrong in our family. And it'd be like 6:30 in the morning, and my dad would be getting a call from her. Tom, is everything okay? I dreamt about my dad last night. He's like, yeah, everything's fine here. And then she'd have to go down the line and call all of her kids. But every single time, it was an alert or an indication to her that there was something wrong with one of her kids. And every single time, it was true. So that was kind of interesting. Pay attention, be mindful of all that stuff that you hear, that you receive, that you dream. It all means something. Okay, Richard, I got you first. The first card I got for you is the number 21, which I like because it adds up to 3. That's my favorite number, or one of them. Exposed and revealed. I feel like there's going to be some information that's going to reveal itself to you very soon. Maybe it's something that seemed very off the wall to you. Maybe it's some new information that you haven't even thought of. But trust the divine plan, because you're going to receive everything as you need to. As you need to. Everything is happening for a reason and exactly the way it's supposed to. So trust in that and know that everything will be exposed and revealed to you in divine order, according to the divine plan. One thing that I wanted, so I hope that resonates with you, Richard. One thing I did want to mention too about the social media and how there's so many different stories, about one thing and how there'll be opposite stories. One thing that I have noticed a lot lately, and I haven't really been on social media as much because of this, there is so much misinformation. Like people that you think are pretty knowledgeable, or people maybe that you've seen their posts for 2, 3, 4 years, and all of a sudden they post this really strange thing, saying that it's true. When you see something like that and it sends up a red flag right away, or you get that feeling like, I'm not sure about that, do your research, because you can debunk any craziness that you might come in contact with. Don't just accept everything at face value. Figure it out for yourself. That's one thing that I have been noticing a lot lately. And I just have to shake my head, because when you look at the comments, like these people believe it. It's like, oh goodness. And it's very frustrating. And please only post stuff that you know is true and accurate. Just out of love and respect for the rest of humankind. Okay, Robert. Because there's a lot of people that will just believe everything they see. When my mom first was on social media, she was like that. She believed, and she was only on one. But she would believe every single thing that she saw. Because Ruth, why would someone post something that isn't true? That's what she would tell me. So, well, people do. So you have to, figure that out for yourself. Okay, Robert. Joy said a phone number just came to me out of the blue. I looked it up and it was someone local, but no one I call or personally know. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, Robert. Oh, I like this. This card is the number 2. And it says roots of abundance. Ooh, what have you been planting that you are ready to harvest? Seek hidden treasure. So there might be something maybe that you forgot about. Maybe some seeds you planted in your spiritual garden a while ago, and you've been weeding them and you've been watering them, and now they've got really strong roots down there, right? Now all this stuff is going to start coming to fruition for you. So I don't know what things you have been working on, but I feel like the seek hidden treasure is more about seeking that hidden treasure within you. within you. Possibly discovering or remembering more of your gifts that you came here with. I feel that pretty strongly. So that treasure that you're seeking is inside of you. You just have to tap into it. You have to accept it, acknowledge it, and then use it. Use it, use it. Because that's why you have it. That's why you came here with it. That's why you brought it. Okay, Joyce. Okay, let's see what we have for Joyce. Okay, Joyce, the number on your card is 39. And it says, and I love this picture, wish upon a star. And you don't even have to wish upon a star because you can wish anything you want into existence. It's called manifesting, right? See, when we're little kids, that's what they tell us, blow out your birthday candles and make a wish. If you see a falling star, make a wish. But what they were really telling us is you can manifest it. You can manifest what you want by focusing your thoughts, by focusing your intentions. And I know you have been doing this a lot, Joyce. And the other card I got for you is to think things through. Don't be rash. Don't rush to judgment about things, but just make sure it's what you want. You have to figure out what is best for Joyce, what Joyce wants, what Joyce needs. Nobody else can answer that for you. No one. So you have to figure that out for yourself. And, if it comes down to it, make a list of pros and cons, a list of exactly what you want, within the next 6 months, a year, 5 years, however it is. And put those thoughts into motion because you can manifest that, whatever it is that you want. And I hope that resonates with you. And while I'm thinking of it, I have a really cute dog story to tell you guys. So, my little dog, Maggie, she's a Shih Tzu. And she's probably like maybe, 10 pounds. And then we have Ginger, and Maggie's like, I want to say like maybe 12 years old. I have to sit and think about it for a minute, but I'm just going to throw it out there. And then we have Ginger, who's probably like maybe 6 or 7. And she's an Australian Ridgeback, I think they're called. Beautiful dog. She's the one that had seizures a few years ago. So much love, very protective of the family. Then we got, last summer, we got a blue heeler puppy that was smaller than Maggie when we first got it. And now it's almost as big as Ginger. Okay. Maggie, when I tell her something, she'll usually do it, with it, it might take me a couple times. Maybe she's getting hard of hearing. I don't know. Ginger, she listens well. This puppy, she's like 7 or 8 months now. I hate to say this, but this dog does not listen at all. When I let her outside, you tell her to come in, 9 times out of 10, she won't. She refuses. But when the other dogs go outside, she doesn't want to let them do what they need to do. She wants to run up to Ginger and just like body slam her. She wants to run circles around Maggie. She's not like aggressive, like where she's going to try to hurt the dog. She's just annoying. And when she acts like that, the dogs won't go out there and do their business. So for the last week, when I can't get Bluey, that's the blue heeler, when I can't get her to come in, I'm still taking Maggie out. So I take Maggie out there and I kind of stand by her so Bluey won't come and bother her. All of a sudden, Ginger starts barreling through the door when I try to take Maggie out. What she does is she goes over to Bluey and they like wrestle around and play. She keeps Bluey occupied so Maggie can go potty without any interruptions. She's done this multiple times a day for probably a week now. And I think it's just brilliant. I think that it's just, that she would have the, you know, thought process to do that. But like I said, she's a very protective dog. So it's really kind of cute. Um, I think it's really cute that she's protective. Her and Maggie have been good friends, though, for many years. And then the puppy just came into the mix. Um, yeah, the blue healer is Bluey, yes. The one that doesn't want to listen or do anything that she is supposed to. But she's a challenge, I'll tell you. She really is. But she's a very sweet dog, a very loving dog. She just doesn't listen well. But I just think it's pretty awesome that Ginger will go out there and be so protective of her. And she thought of that all on her own. I just think that's pretty cool. I've been posting, mostly what I post on Facebook is stuff about the Goldylocks shows, and I post a lot of animal videos that I find. And I'm telling you, animals are so amazing and hilarious at the same time. Some of the videos they're just fantastic. Kudos to these people who get this stuff on video, I'll tell you. Because they're amazing, amazing animals. Amazing. I've seen some that the guy laughed so hard that I cried. Okay, let's see who is next. Hello, Devin. Nice to see you. Let's get... Oh, Joyce said her daughter has 2. Has 3. Oh, so Joyce, do they listen? Is this like a trait with them? They just don't listen well and follow direction? I would love to know. Or maybe we just got the one-off. Hello, Kim. Nice to see you. Sarah said some of those videos are hilarious. I know, they really are funny. They really are. Okay. Let me pull a card for Melissa. Melissa has a show on Fridays called Joyful Findings. It's on at 8 p.m. Eastern. And her show is fantastic. If you guys have not watched it before, you really need to. And also, Tiffany, her show is on Sundays, Spiritual Insights, and her show is fantastic. You guys got to check out. If you haven't, check out all of the Goldylocks shows. There's each one is just like a little bit different flavor of information. And, you might find that, you're missing out on something. Okay, Melissa, the first card I got for you, the number is 15 or 6, a powerful move. I feel like there's something you're going to do that's going to step you further into your power, that's going to further empower you to do something else, something more, something different. And they're saying reach for the stars. So don't put any limits, not that I think you do, on anything that you attempt to do, that you want to do. I feel like you are very guided and that you listen well. So whatever this new thing is going to be, I do feel it's going to be a very powerful move on your part. Now, what they mean by that, I don't know. If it's going to be more spiritual gifts, if it's going to be more powerful because it's going to reach more people, I'm not sure. But just know that you are going in the right direction and you've got that whole entire team behind you. Kim said all shows are great. So many gifted people. I watch them all too. Oh, Joyce said shoot a hole in her wall right through sheetrock. Well, we haven't had issues like that, thank goodness. Thank goodness. So that was Melissa. Devin. Devin would like a message. Ooh. Okay, Devin. The number on your card is 29, which is a great number in and of itself. Or it could be an 11, or it could be a 2. Awakening genius. Look at that picture. I love that. Awakening genius. So I feel like there's so much untapped knowledge in you. So much stuff that you haven't even started to share with others yet. And I feel like you need to do that. Whether it's something job related, whether it's something relationship related, life related, I feel like you have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of experience that needs to be shared with others. And rejuvenate. I feel like you are tired. Not maybe you don't feel, I don't mean like sleepy, but I feel like you are tired and you need a rest, a good rest. A rest of your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body. I feel like you are just, what is that expression? Dead dog tired? Something like that. I just feel like you need that rejuvenation. Now, however, you go about rejuvenating yourself, whether it's, sitting in a recliner with your feet up with a nice comfy blanket watching TV, if that's what helps rejuvenate you. Maybe it's, taking a hot, relaxing bath. Maybe it's listening to certain music. Maybe it's just getting more rest and sleep. Maybe it's eating different foods. Whatever it is for you that helps you to feel rejuvenated and rested and relaxed, you need more of that. More self-care. Okay? So I hope that resonates with you, Devin. Okay. Kim. Let me pull a card for Kim. See what we have. And all of you guys, make sure you guys are drinking enough water. Water is so important. And if you can, and you have it or you can get it, use the Celtic sea salt. That stuff is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Kim. Number 21 or 3. Exposed and revealed. So I feel like some stuff is going to be revealed to you that maybe you thought of it as one thing, but what's going to come is going to show you that it's not exactly what you thought it was. The truth is going to be revealed in a completely different way. And embrace your power. Know how powerful you are. Feel how powerful you are. Know how powerful you are. Because, the more that you embrace that, the higher your vibration. The higher your vibration, the higher all of our vibrations, right? So see why it's so important for us to do that healing work. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for everyone else, right? That's, because there's sometimes I can remember, I think it was my dad, and he would do anything in the world for anybody. But when it came to himself, no, he never put himself first, which he should have. And I can remember him saying something like, well, I will do that for you, but I'm not going to do that for myself. And when I think about that now, it's very sad that that's, that was what was ingrained in him. Not that he didn't love himself, but that was the way he showed love. But anyway, let's see. So if you can't do it for yourself, do it for someone else, if that's what you have to tell yourself. But embrace that. Embrace all of who you are, because all of those things are what make you yourself, what make you Kim, and what make you unique. Hello, Robin. Nice to see you. So I hope that makes sense to you, Kim. Dog tired for sure. I need a vacation. You do, Devin. I'm telling you. You need to take one. Okay. So my cards got messed up here. Okay. Ooh, I'm going to pull a card for Tiffany. Well, I'm glad you did come on and say hi, Robin. Robin's show was on last night. Great show. Cosmic Soul Food at 8 p.m. Eastern. You guys check out her show if you haven't seen it. Okay, Tiffany. Number 39. And Wish Upon a Star. I love that card. And all about manifesting, right? Wishing, focusing, intention on what you want. And that's what you create in your life, right? And this card I find interesting. Keep your commitments. Yes, that's important. However, sometimes, and I feel like this is you, if you commit yourself to something, you're like, I'm doing it. And if something might come up, then, you feel really bad about it, like you're letting people down and everything like that. But sometimes, those things happen for a reason. For whatever reason, totally unknown at the time. But don't feel bad about that when that happens. And I know, because I was always the same way. And I would put myself in such a terrible position, as far as maybe doing things when I was completely exhausted, or when I was sick or not feeling well, or when I just didn't have the time or financial means to keep up with it because my situation had changed, and I would just do it anyway because I was always putting that first. That I learned, as a lot of us have, that we have to put ourselves first and what we need first. So don't feel bad if you ever have to cancel on a commitment. It's okay to say no in the first place. Robin, I got some good cards for you here. The number 8. And this picture is absolutely beautiful. And it says, into me I see. And I love that. Because I know you're doing all this inner work and working on so much stuff. And that's what you're doing. You're taking that look inside of you. You are looking there and you are healing things that need to be healed. And you are changing things in your life that need to be changed. Into me, I see. I love that. That is beautiful. Begin to explore, Robin. Begin to explore some new ideas, some new avenues. Okay? Maybe some different gifts. Maybe start doing the crystal ball readings. I don't know if you started doing that yet or not, but I know you had talked about that for a while. Maybe that's something you want to, a new adventure you'd like to try. But I feel like you're going to be doing something a little bit new and different. And that's always exciting. And Tiffany said, thank you so much, Ruth. I love and appreciate you. Great messages. I love and appreciate you, Tiffany, and you are very, very, very welcome. Okay, now if anybody else would like a message, we do have a few more minutes. I think I hit everybody that I saw that commented. So this is why you need to comment if you're watching, so you can get a message just for you. Okay. So I just pulled a card for everyone, and this card is number 31, and it says Call of the Muse. And what this feels like to me is, we all have that little, I don't know, I want to say sparkle or glimmer or whatever it is of inspiration, that's right. And maybe it's angels, maybe it's our guides, maybe it's our muse just sitting there, trying to put a little spark into us of maybe trying something different. Um, they're not going to say, this is what you have to do and make you do it, because we have free will, but they're going to help guide you, especially, if they know why we're here, right? They're going to help guide us to those things that's going to help us focus in the right direction on our path. So listen to all of those little, whispers you get, or little, of an idea, because, a lot of times it's how stuff comes to us. Maybe you get this little thought, like you're watching a video and somebody's painting and you're like, I could do that. Try it. Maybe maybe you've got this artist in you that you didn't even know was there. But try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things. And it's okay to not do well at them, right? We all have to start somewhere. I'm sure none of us, unless we're athletes, could go, and run a marathon right now. But if we trained ourselves and we practiced and, did what we needed to do, we could work on getting there and eventually do that. It's just like with anything, you're not going to be 100% perfect at something the first time you try. That's why they say practice makes perfect, right? You got to do things over and over. You have to learn new ways of doing them, learn new techniques. And that's always fun too. And, anything that you might want to try, like maybe there's something you've thought of or that's been in the back of your mind since you were young. And you're like, I only have right now. I might not be here a month from now. Why don't I just, what's stopping me from doing this right now? I have what I need to try. I've just been lazy about it or fearful of doing it. What if I fail? So what? You tried, you had the experience. That's what's important, right? And maybe it'll lead to something else. So, don't let fear ever run your life anywhere, because fear is just an illusion anyway. Well, it looks like we are out of time. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I am so very grateful that you are all here. I hope you will come back next week and you guys have a wonderful week. And don't forget to come and join us Saturday for the Spiritual Message Circle. I love you all. Good night, everybody.